Hello. Let's what's that? Okay, that's set alright. Hello. Hi. Oh hi. Hello, how are you? Yeah, it's been a while. Just doing a quick stream. Hopefully the audio is okay. I haven't got a clue, because I haven't done a stream in a while. I should probably get someone to check, but who cares? Right, it's going to be a bit rusty today. You can't see. I was going to originally do this and set up a camera for it, but you might be able to hear it if I do this. So there is a person on Threads who I follow called Ryosuke. Anyway, let me just hold up. Let me just let's see if I can. Am I logged in? I'm not logged in. Why would I be logged in? This is not the machine I do this sort of stuff on. Ryosuke PlayStation. So this guy's like he does a bunch of stuff. I know, good, right? He does a bunch of stuff, and a lot of it. He used to work for Sony, so he used to do a bunch of stuff for Sony, and well, he worked there. I don't know if he works anymore. I don't think he works anymore. He did for a bit, but he does a lot of. Let me just pull up the thing. Can I find him on? Oh, there it is. There it is. I can find him on Threads without logging in. That's good. Okay, so. And one thing he did the other day was he made some 3D animations of a minidisc. Now, I have extremely fond, obviously fond memories of the minidisc. I was a massive fan of them. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, because he uses cycles, and I was like, I wouldn't mind just playing with it. I like doing transparent, plasticky, producty stuff. That sounds fun, pretty straightforward. So I was like, can I find a model of a minidisc? No. There isn't one on the internet. And obviously I can't say, oh, can I have your model? Oh, maybe you would if I asked him. But yeah, anyway, he was doing a few animation stuff. I was like, oh, I want to do this, but I want to do it in like Octane or maybe probably Redshift, to be honest, to get a bit more Redshift practice in. I've not used it enough yet. I need to up those sort of Redshift skills. Plus, also, I've been distracted and not doing any 3D for literally like almost 6 months now. So, if you can hear this, to that end, getting back to full circle, is I've ordered this specific brand of Sony minidisc, and I have it. Well, not exactly. So I ordered. Okay, right. No, I'm not. I'll be honest. I didn't order one. I ordered 3 of 2 different types, both made by Sony, and I'm going to model one. So he has a stream on YouTube, or a video on YouTube of him doing it. I think he used reference images, but I'm going to do it a bit differently. And I am going to have the physical minidisc in front of me, so I can reference it and look at it in the light and that kind of shit. But also, I'm going to do it with calipers and do it in CAD. So I'll share it afterwards, so the world can have it. This being said, I've done 0 CAD in even longer, so you have to watch me stumble and remember how to use Fusion. And every time I use Fusion for like a week, I forget how to navigate in it. So this might not be a very productive stream. It is for an hour and then stop. But ideally, I should be able to do the whole thing in an hour, because it doesn't have to be. It's most useful as a CAD model. Oh, so this is brand new old stock Neige Neige Sony minidisc with the stickers. I just unwrapped it, and I'm sure for some people, including me, this is a lovely. Oh god, I love it. I love minidiscs. They're so cool. Yeah, so I love minidisc. I think they're awesome. I had a minidisc player in my room and in my. Did I have one in a car? I somewhat remember having one in a car at some point. But yeah, I really love minidisc, and sadly now they're gone. I had a portable minidisc player as well. I was all in on minidisc at the time, and obviously I'm very nostalgic for it. And I'm of the age where I'm an absolute little whore for nostalgia. So. Let's get going. Let's see if we can first off remember how to use Fusion. We'll find out. So, are my calipers got battery? They do. That's a good start. Okay, let's zero those out. So originally I was going to have a camera facing down onto my desk, so you can see me doing the caliper bit, but that's also not that interesting. So I'm just going to tell you that I'm doing it. And also my desk is messy and I couldn't be able to clean it. So what I'm going to do is whoop, and then anything like this in months, so whatever, 71.68 by 68.13. So let's call that 71 point. Was that 71 point? So 70. Let's call it 71.5. Let's just draw ourselves a little square. It's got rounded corners. I think there's a scientific way of. So what we're going to do is create rectangle, center rectangle is always the one to go with, and then it was 70. I know, this must be excruciating. 70. So let's say 71.5. So 71.5 millimeters. That's the wrong dimension. Whatever. So this one was. Oh, that's in width. Yeah, that is in width. Okay, I'm lying. 71.5, and then height was 68. Let's say 68 point between 68.2 and 68.5. Let's say 68. Let's just say 68. So let's say 68.2. 68.2. A lot of 3D people don't do CAD enough, and I see people doing product stuff and trying to struggle through. And if you need to be like, there's benefits, I guess, but if they're like non-organic shapes, a lot of the time a CAD model for most product stuff is good enough, and also you can be the things that matter in terms of accuracy are accuracy to the reference object are much easier to achieve, and you get dimensional perfectness, all for the sake of about £10 in minidisc. I really want to find a way to put music on. Can you hear it? To find a way to put music on this and live that life again of the best music format, in my opinion, ever. I'm showing my age. Anyway, right, so there's that bit. We have a little couple blobby bits in the corner. Let's get a reference image up so I can say, so I can tell you what I'm. Let's just do. We'll just do. What are we doing? Sony NEI GE mini disc. I wish I had a better. So yeah, let's do this. Okay. That's good enough. That'll do. Let's see if I got PureRef. There we go. Okay. Copy image. Go into PureRef. PureRef open. If you haven't used PureRef, use PureRef. It's great. Paste. There we go. Hey, so we've got one. So I can. This is more for your benefit. It's very low resolution. But yeah, that's what I'm. This is what I'm modeling. This is what pretty much I have in my hands for the most part. Let's see if we can find a higher resolution image of this. There might be one around somewhere. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, that's. I mean, immediately I found a better one. Oh, there we go. There's one there, and then there's another one. Oh, even better. Even betterer. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Wait, is that not? Okay. How do I zoom in? My keyboard's not zooming. Hang on. Zoom. Does that? No. How about? Here's the problem with me, right? Is how do you do this? There we go. That'll work. Cool. All right. Lovely. So yeah, this is what I'm doing at the minute. Just open this back up so I can see it. There we go. Right, I'm just going to take this off screen and I'll reference this occasionally. So this is like a visual reference, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this little piece here. So this is going to be the. Let's do the back. Let's do the back. So we've got a indent. And this is. 6.2 millimeters on the left-hand side from the top, and it is 3 millimeters. So what I'm going to do is just do this. I'm going to just do 3. There we go. And then distance from. Can I zoom in? I can't remember any of the controls. There's a control. That's not it. Is it control? No. Control Alt? No. Control? No. There! There we go. Oh, this must be excruciating. Right, so what we're going to do, and then this needs to be 6mm. So is that 6 point? What was that again? And this is basically what modelling in CAD basically is. It's just, so the centre of this is not there. So let's go vaguely to the centre. And this is not like going to be perfectly accurate because 7.5. Because it's that 80-20 rule thing of like you can have something be pretty close or perfect, and the delta between perfect and pretty close is quite a lot. So we're going to go with pretty close, and then what we're going to do, we're going to just trim off these bits. We don't need that. There we go. Look at that. Whoa. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, no, constraints are gone. So let's drop that down, and then we've got a corresponding one. So let's just do. Can I remember to do this? Let's undo that. So grab that, and then if I remember correctly, I go to S. Yeah, mirror. Is that mirror? Mirror, and then mirror plane is going to be. Let's come out of there, and we'll do mirror plane there, and that should object. And let's go with that. Oh, can you not mirror on objects? Features? Faces? No, I can't remember. Whatever. I'm sure you could do that on a sketch. Am I just being dumb? Yeah, measuring some calipers, yeah. But I cannot remember. I mean, I can just do this again, to be honest. It's not that hard. But, yeah. So, basically, I've not done any CAD in ages. So, this is going to be pretty painful to watch. And that's 7.5mm, 7.5. So, that's the notch on both sides. Any more notches? There's one that... Nope, that's it. Those are two notches. Is that a notch? That's kind of a notch. That is like a rounded rectangle, and that is... Okay, so we'll do a... Yeah, so we're going to go from... We're saying we're doing the back, right? So this is the right-hand side. And then we've got a... Where is that? That is... Let's call that 11... Let's call that 12. So 12mm in. We've got a little rectangle of dimension. Okay, let's call it 5.5 by 3.5. So 5.5 by 3.5. That's the wrong dimension. That's the wrong dimensions. Oh God. 3.5 by 3.5. Thank you. By 5.5. There we go. And then that was from here. That was. Oh, that's surprisingly close. So let's call it, that was 11. Let's call that 12. Again, we're not going for like perfect accuracy. We're just going for like relative accuracy. And then this from the top was. So the center is 4.5. That's about right. So what we'll do is from here is minus 4.5 millimeters. Oh, okay. Alright, you know what? Will this work? I know sometimes with certain constraints, there we go. Why did I put that there? Why did I put that there? Hang on, let's just start over. I know, this is really painful to watch, I'm sorry. Did I remember what they were? 3.5 and 5.5. Right, there we go. Let's go with that. I'm so rusty, this is actually kind of embarrassing. But anyway, so 5.5 by 3.5. That's the problem being a person like me who does a bunch of different stuff. That occasionally, so that was 12, wasn't it? Occasionally, you have to change like rooms, I guess. 2.7. So that's 3mm from there. So yeah, like when you're like a multidisciplinary person. So what did I say it was again? That was 2.5, let's say. When you're a multidisciplinary person, it's really easy to not do something that you've done a lot. You know, you can't do everything all the time, right? Where's the rounding tool? Let's just do round. I cannot remember. Is it? What is it? Fill it. There we go. A, and then A, and then A. Yeah. So when when you do stuff, let's just do that. Let's make that 1.5 millimeters. Yeah, so like if I don't do something in a while, right? So I've not done any CAD in like, I don't know, best part of a year, really. It's difficult to kind of like pick it back up again a little bit because I've just spent the last 6 months only doing my day job, which is like product design, like software product design, so like Figma. And when I'm not doing that, I'm doing software development at the minute in 2 different languages. So it's like and this is not me trying to be like, oh, look at me. No, this is like just don't think I'm showing off. I'm not. What I'm saying is it's hard to jump between these rooms when you do all this stuff all the time. So it's, and again, I've not been doing any 3D recently. I came off the back of doing months and months and months of 3D. So it's really annoying when you're proficient at something, but then you have to then spend all that time. You must know it is, right? You spend all that time getting back up to speed with things you kind of already know. It's very, very frustrating. Right, so that's that side. There's that, and then just offset from that, there is another half. That was what I was modelling. The wrong thing. Is that the wrong? Wait, hang on. Is that the wrong thing? So there's another little half guy, a little half circle cut out of this, like half a rectangle, I guess, which is 4 millimeters in. So we'll do that flat against the top, and then that's 4 by 3. Let's call it 3 point. Let's call it 3. 4 by 3, and that's just straight on here. So let's just do that. Yeah, so 4 by 3, let's say. Perfect. And then that was. So yeah, like all this is going so much slower, and then like it's like it is sort of like getting back on a bike, but everyone's like you still got to figure out how to fucking ride a bike again. 17.5. It's almost more frustrating, I guess. But I'm the kind of person like I taught myself to ride a bike. I'm frustrating, I think, as a person, because I have to know what what I mean. Like I'm one of those sort of annoying fuckers who has to like, oh, I have to know how this works. Yeah, I don't really, but so 1.5. There we go. Same again. Perfect. And it's just as if I actually know what I'm doing. Imagine that. He says as he. Is that one? No, it is that one. There we go. It's always making things more difficult for myself. So there is that. So with this, whereas a lot of it is in like internal detail and they're transparent, right? So I'm like, do I? Right? I have 2 arrived and I've bought 3 total, right? I kind of don't want to. The reason I bought 2 is to take one apart, right? So I can figure out how thick these things all are from the inside, because some of these things don't go all the way through, right? Or no, can I? And I might be able to figure this out without having to take it apart. So yeah, the thickness of the plastic, if a piece. So hang on, let me show you what I'm looking at here, right? So where are we? We're looking. So I'm looking at exactly as I show it on screen. So we've done this thing here, this thing here, this thing here, and this thing here, right? So I need to get these in, which is fine. These are just little standoffs that go all the way through. Same with these, and these. They'll be quick. And there's a few details around here. So there's a hole in the back of here. That's fine. That's a hole in the back, but not the front. And then we've got this part here goes all the way through, and that's got 2 little. I wish I had one that was opaque as well, so I could see these details on the side. So on the side here, where this is, there is a cutout on the top part where it's thinner, and I can figure that out. Yeah, I can figure that out. And then this bit here is like a half cut through here. But again, this is transparent plastic. Like I said, the one I'm looking at is identical to this one, so it's not the easiest to see those things. But yeah, I think I might be able to get away not taking this apart, because I don't want to destroy it. Because they're not, these recently went out of production, right? They got cancelled. There'll still be some companies making them, but it's going to be one of those things where there'll be rot, like format rot. So things like, if you want to buy a cassette tape player now, they're all shit. Because all of the original ones, back when it was like state of the art, right? The companies that survive are the lowest common denominators who make the worst version, but the most cost optimized one, which you can rebadge and all that sort of crap. So like, you have 1,000 brands, most of them in China, being like Dancing Swan brands, you know, or the thing that's like 10 random letters on Amazon brand mini discs, they'll persist forever. But it'll be one company making them, and they'll be the shittiest ones. So having a Sony, like the inventor of the format, a premium audio format, it'd be a shame to destroy one of these because they're not exactly going to be rare right now. There's going to be a million of these in things, but it's nice to sort of. Do you know what I mean? And mini disc was never like that popular. So long story short, I don't want to break one of these. I want to keep it intact, and then I can hand it off to someone else who can enjoy it, or more likely, I will buy a mini disc player, put some music on it, listen to it twice, put it in a drawer and forget about it. I know how I work. I'm that kind of guy. That's probably going to happen. Stay tuned. Anyway, getting back on topic. Right, so this thing here, I don't know what this quite is. It's just a little feature. Oh, no. Okay, that's a cutout, right? So that's... Okay. This is actually more annoying than I thought it was going to be. That sucks. But I want to capture all of this, and I'm probably not going to finish this today. But that's cool. That's fine. Ah, little tiny detail. So up here, it's not on this one actually, because these. So yeah, what I'm looking at in my hands isn't identical to this. It's extremely similar. So it should be identical though, right? But it's not. So on my one, this isn't here. This is, and this is. This one, this one isn't there. This is slightly different on mine. Yeah, there's a few little changes, but I'm going to model it based on the one I have in my hand, rather than the one I have on the screen. But actually, yeah. Okay, so yeah, mine has the... Okay, 1 second. All right. So these two both have different print on. So mine is printed identically to this. It looks exactly like that. Oh no, mine's 74, not 80. What? I don't know what. 6 minutes less. Been ripped off. But yeah, so mine's 74, not 80. But it looks identical to this. Apart from mine says 74 there instead of 80 there. But otherwise, it's identical. And these ones are printed differently. So this is printed. This one actually says 74. But the plastic on there, and this doesn't matter anyway, the plastic on this is identical, but the print is different. Anyway, it's not useful or interesting to anyone, but, you know, fucking hell, I've been streaming for 20 minutes so far, and all I've done is this. Jesus, shut up and work. Right, let's get on with it, I guess. Right, what's next? Let's do these little knobbly boys. So let's just try and guess how big these are. So, Wait, I've done it like... No, I haven't. Yeah, so I'm doing... Yeah, because I'm flipping it out. Sorry, I have bad map spinning in my mind skills. I used to have really good ones. Anyway, let's shut up and do it. Right, so... Looking at this around, let's do it from the front. Right, so this is... Let's call it 4. So... Okay. Then... That it. What? Undo. Right. This is 4mm. There we go. Boop. And then that is... It's got a little... I think that's like... It's got a little ring around it, a little rim. So the inner one, the inner part of this is... 2. And then the thickness of this, let's just guess at this. This is... Let's call it a millimetre. So what we're going to do, if memory served, offset 1, so -1, -1. That's not right. Okay, now let's get rid of that. So we'll do another one, centre it here. This is going to be 2mm. There we go. So that's that. And also, is that? I'm saying that's solid, and then there's an additional little... What is that? That little... That's... Okay, right, so what I'm going to do, we're just going to eyeball this. Because, again, we're not going for 100% accuracy, so minus 0.2. But we're going for, like, close enough accuracy, right? Let's just have a look at this quickly. Yeah. So, we've got one of those. Where is that? That is 4 from the left and 1.5 from the top. I think it's just double click, memory serves. Sketch. There we go. So these should just be M, There we go. Oh, center constraint. Damn. Okay, right, so can I set, if memory serves, can I set dimensions on load of these at once? Should be able to. No. Oh no, maybe. D. And then what was that again? I should have remembered, really. That was 1.5 from the top, and then 4 millimeters. So yeah, part of the motivation. What was that from the top? Part of the motivation of doing this with part of the motivation originally for doing this with thingamajig with calipers is normally I do this way quicker with calipers than modelling it, but at the moment I don't. Yes, it's fine. Right, so because I've got this center constraint, let's just turn this off. So yeah, the thing with we're not dealing with it today, but the biggest complexities with the biggest complexities with working in CAD is actually constraints. So constraints are really important. Modelling in CAD is actually really easy, but the constraints and making these things scalable is actually much more difficult. But we're not going for super accurate. So like if I'm designing a real object, constraints become important, right? So when I say like I've got these three parts mate through each other on a long threaded screw, right? And I want to move the hole for it. I need to, for whatever reason, because of material strength on the corners, I have to move this screw in a millimeter. Those constraints trickle through, and you can bind them together. So when I change the screw position in one, it'll just update the holes through all those parts all at once. And that's my use case. I'm not a CAD expert. If you're like a proper CAD person, that might be hundreds of objects. You see what I mean? Well, that's not right. Was that to the center or the edge? Hang on. 1.5 mil. So to the center to there is 3.5. Yes, that's when those constraints turn up, and also inside Fusion specifically, it's got a timeline, right? So you can't see anything on here yet, but there'll be a little timeline. So we've got this, the creation of a sketch. So as I do an action, if I extrude this, that'll create a timeline, and trying to keep that so it's replayable, which means you can see any state and edit any of those actions in this branch, in the creation of this object, and keeping that so you don't go back to like a destructive workflow is a big part of it as well. But again, you're listening to me, and I've not done any CAD really in ages, and given my current performance, I don't know why this is anything I'm saying. But what we do, and then we'll just do create copy. Can we? Yeah, we can. So now delete this constraint here, this diagonal one. I can move this freely, but while that was constrained, I couldn't. So it's default to having this. We can put these constraints back in, but they're rarely useful. Are these equidistant? They look like they are. We're not going to go crazy on this. Let's just eyeball. In fact, actually, that's pretty close. Let's do 60. Let's just do 60 flat. Okay, 60.1, 60.2. Nope. Okay, let's just undo that. Hang on, let's do that again. Create a copy. Nope. Create a copy. Cancel. Oh my gosh. Create a copy. And then, yeah, we'll just do that. That's close enough. Yeah, no one's going to notice that. I moved it by 60. Yeah, 60 point. Let's just round that to 60.8. It's probably a good rule of thumb to keep numbers round if you can, I guess. But just my own sanity, what is that distance? Let's just double check. I know what I'm like. If you're a pedant, 3.4. Okay, that's a little bit off. It's fine. Should we just do it? Let's just do it properly. 4. There we go. Okay. For all of that, eventually we just did it properly anyway. So, oh, this is what you pay for. So yeah, we're putting this all into one sketch, which might end up being a mistake. We'll find out. This is like, again, like I said, the basics of just drawing a thing in CAD is really is the easy bit. The rest is quite difficult. So That is, so what I'm looking at now, sorry, quickly, is I've got, let's just do, they're not equidistant, let's move this to this one at the bottom, that's another one. So this one, there's one on the bottom on this side. There we go, let's go back to pure F. So there's this one here, and there's one here, so they're not equidistant. That's fine. That's fine. So what we'll do is grab this. This and this. Yeah, so normally, there was a time, quite recently, where for something like this, I was very quick in Fusion. Clearly those skills are not held up. Right, so let's just do that. So the centre of this is, but it's fun though. That's 3.5. Okay, so let's do that. We'll eyeball it, and then we'll just do an actual guy. Okay, 3.8, so 3.5. There we go, and then that should be. Let's double check this. I don't know if it's equidistant or not. We'll find out. It looks like it is, but let's just add a little bit of accuracy. Why not? Why not? 5.8. Oh, it's not actually. Okay. Glad I did that actually, because that's not at all equidistant there at all. Yes, that's 5.8 from there, so it's not in the same place. Cool. Alright, let's save this. Yeah, MD. Cool. So yeah, we'll see this version go up pretty quick. Right, and then there's another one on here. Okay, and then this one is is 3.5 and 6.8. 3.5 and 6.8. Cool. Is that it? Nope. 1, 2, 3, M. Copy. Okie dokie. Okay, and then what we'll do, D, boop, 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 and then we'll just, no, shush, that to there we go, so 3.5, okay, and then what was that? That was 6.8. I really want to get some of the non-electric calipers. I've got electric ones, and sometimes I forget measurements, so I have to look, and some of it turns off when you re-reference the measurement you just made. Right, 6.8, 3.5, there we go, that's done. And then we'll do these little ones. So, and by these little ones, I mean these little ones. Those guys. And then, yeah, we're going to go for this, yeah, going to try and get as many of these surface details in as possible, because why not? Because there's these little micro details here, right? So like there's these, I want to do these, or I might do these in no, I'm going to do these in geometry. Why not? Fuck it. But yeah, we've got these little sort of like, these aren't actually, so these are pushed all the way through. So this, this, but these ones here, these little circles and that circle, they're just, I think they're just marks, injection molding calf marks. But I'm going to get those in as well, because also I can't be asked to UV this. Because ain't nobody got time for that, so I'm just gonna have it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But actually, is that on the front? Yes, this is interesting. Actually, this is actually a lot more interesting thought. I looked at it and was like, oh, it's just basically a rectangle, isn't it? But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, now I'm looking at it properly. Well, this is a bit more complicated than I gave it credit, actually. That's the thing, isn't it? You just see a part and you go, oh, that's just that, isn't it? It's just that. And then you realise actually you are an idiot and full of shit. Right, so let's put in the little blobbies to stop talking and do some work. So we'll do 2 point. Let's call that 3, and then interior is 1. So that's going to be just, yeah, that's that. So that is 3mm, and then, oops, boop, and then we'll just do offset, and then 2. No, -2. No, -1. Good enough. Okay. And then let's position this bad boy. So this is 17.8, 6, 17.9, no, 17.8, and then that's 2.6, 2 point, yeah, so let's do 2.6. Okay, so we'll just do, no, shush. There we go. That's not bad. 2.6, I can't remember that previous number, I think it was 17.8. So, what we'll do is do that, and then that's going to be 17.8. Okay, yeah, if you want to know the relevance of where I'm putting these measures, there's no logic to it. Really. Not a great deal, to be honest, not a great deal. But it looks cool. No, it's just so you can read them, right? You just put them out of the way so you can read them later. So, here's that one, and then we'll duplicate that one over to here. So this one, over this side, is... This is going to take quite a while, actually, I think. 20. That's 20.1. What was that? What is that? 21. Okay. Okay. Hold up. Do 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 boop. Okay. And then from there, that's 21. That's not right. That can't possibly be right. That's not right. Hang on, hold up, because then yeah, that was the one on that side. So why did you measure that at 20? Whoa, what are we doing here? They are close. They are very close to each other. So let's just get this accurate. Let's get this 20, 21.4. Let's try that. 0.4. No. So that's 70. So let's just get this more accurate. Hang on. This one behind. This is. All right. $17.5. Let's just have a look. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's actually. Let's look on the back. So yes, I'm measuring from the outside to the middle of the shape. So that's 17.1. Let's say. What makes it kind of difficult is the no, see, we're still off. We're really close. Oh, that's sorry, that's that edge. Ah, it's not in the middle. Right. Okay. Hang on. That's why that's off. That's 16.1. Yeah. Yeah, so it's the interior edge, not the middle. Right. So 16.1. There we go, and that looks about right. Cool. Okay. Good. Got there in the end. Can you tell I'm out of practice? So, got out of practice measuring things. Oh god. Yeah, it was like when you're doing like 3D shit, how much of it is just measuring shit? It's like about 95% is just measuring where things are. Like totally. So, okay. So there's those two. That's on the front, isn't it? So we've got. Sorry, what I'm looking at is a few more details. I haven't got an image of the back of this, but there's a few little circles. I'm going to put those in afterwards, actually. So I've done those top And there are two more of these actually. So, and the bottom. So these two here. Let's do these two. So they do line up, I think. I think. .2.5 from the bottom. 2.5. And what are these? These from the top are 2.6. Okay, so it's probably 2.5 across the board, isn't it? Really. But then I'm doing that through semi-opaque plastic, so you know. I'm pretty sure there was a way to mirror while you're in sketches, but you know what? We haven't got time to read today. Reading's for nerds, he says as he's modelling a minidisc to do a 3D model of a minidisc that already exists, just for literally no reason. You know what? I blame the parents. Okay. Oop. Oop. Okay. So let's just do 2.6. Let's do it. Let's make them equidistant. Why not? And that's going to be 2.6. Boop. Lovely. Yeah, no, I think there's like... No, let's not get involved. Let's not get involved in mirror constraints. Let's just make... Symmetry, you dick. There we go. That's a symmetrical constraint. That makes sense. That makes sense. So... Okay, so there's our little... How far through are we? Let's see how much we've done. Let's just finish my sketch. There we go. So we can see that, right? And let's see our reference next to it. we got a ways to go. Oh my god. Yeah, I underestimated how much effort this would be. And I'm running out of time. I've got 18 minutes left. Let's see if we can shut the fuck up for a few minutes. So, yeah. So we work on the back. So I'm gonna name this, right? I'm gonna call this one like rename back, because ain't nobody got time to try and figure out what they were doing before. Shut up. Okay. Okay, what's next? What's next? There's a hole back here on the right hand side. Let's put that one in. So that is... Okay. How big's that hole? 3.5. And that's on the right. Just hang on, let me edit sketch. Thank you, Jesus. Right, so that's on the right hand side. That was so that's 3.5 millimeters. So yeah, I've tried doing this before in like plasticity, which is okay. It doesn't have quite the same accuracy as real CAD. It could do, it just doesn't, which I find a little bit frustrating because they're kind of missing a trick there. So plasticity is like artist-driven CAD, I guess. That's so from the bottom that's 2.6, and then that's from the edge from the 2.6, and then 11.5. Yeah, it's like artist-driven CAD, but it's based on the same like geometry engine as this. So they could have made it a lot more like real CAD if they wanted to, but they haven't, and I find that perplexing. 2.6. There we go. Lovely. So there's that one. Yeah, I don't know whether they've done that. Right, so in here, let's just, so hang on, we've got another standoff there. Is that a standoff? That is a standoff. So that is right up against the edge, so it's going to be hard to measure, but that is going to be 3 mil. Yeah, it's 3 mil, and it's on this hand side. Okay, so it's 3 mil, and then it is. That's actually a standoff. Yeah, it goes all the way through. Weird. When you see how some of these things construct, you think like, because again, I am not an engineer. by any stretch of imagination, right? I've got like the tendencies, but I fit very much into like sort of enthusiastic amateur territory, you know. No, I don't know. Like software engineering, does that count? But like physical thing engineering is a different sort of skill set. A lot of the same concepts, but different set of skills. And you're like, when you look at stuff like this and you go like, why? Because you know the mindset, right, of an engineer. And you go, someone at Sony who's poured time into this design, there'll be a reason why that's down. There'll be a very good reason why this little bit of plastic, this little notch here, is here. It'll be for something to make the case, you know, whatever. Like every piece, generally speaking, especially with Japanese engineering, normally, if something's there, it's there for an extremely good reason. Lots of mundane objects have some really cool design stuff. If you're a big design nerd, taking calipers to shit and wondering why bits of plastic are there is actually really weirdly fascinating. Or is that just me? Right, anyway, so this is 17 up, and then literally like just a nipples, a snake's belly away from that's nipples. A snake's belly away from the edge at a millimeter. So that's one from the left. Oh, no, that's not what I'm doing. So that's one from the left. No, okay, no, plus the circumference of the thing. So that's 2.5, I think. 2.5. There we go. That's actually a millimeter there. And then that's 17 from the bottom. So actually 1.7. Just double check that because I'm not sure that's right. Yeah, that's got 17. And there's another one, a little half moon guy, which actually, oh yeah, there's so many cool little details on these things. I love it. It's so much fun. Okay, so the little half moon guy is basically half one of those above it, isn't it? And it's just, what's that? That's 3, but it's hollow. So that is one of these, and it's pretty much, is that halfway? Not quite. That's an odd thing. Let me show you what I'm looking at. If this one's got it. This guy. So it's like a little, it's been molded in kind of weirdly. I don't have to get it, I don't think I have to get bang on perfect, do I really, but it made me feel better if I could. So that's slightly okay. Actually, let's think. Okay, quickly before we do any more on this, let's just get our interior diameter, the thickness of this plastic, because that's going to tell us where to put it up to. I should have done this earlier, but you know, I blame you because you're making me talk. You know, how dare you? So let's just figure out how thick this plastic is. I need more light. Really? Oh, stupid dark room. There we go. Ugh. It's not dark, but it's winter, which is basically means it's perpetual night in the north of England. So, but you know what I'm saying, right? So the plastic is, let's call this this outer edge, which seems to vary a little bit, is pretty much bang on actually 0.9. Okay, we'll do the fillet first, right? So we'll do the outer fillet on here, which I can't remember the right way to figure out how to. I'm gonna have to Google that. I can't remember that there's a way to figure out with calipers what a fillet is, but I'm dumb, and because technically I'm an artist, but like. I could fill this after the fact, couldn't I? I don't necessarily have to fill it the actual. I probably should though, right? Should I fill it the sketch or should I fill it the model? I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna go with, for now, I'm not gonna fill it and I'll just do the offset. I might live to regret that, but we'll find out. So, nice. What was that again? That was 0.9. 0.9. Oops. Where is it? 0.9. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, that's the thickness of our plastic. So that's actually really thin. Like, well, no, it's not that thin. I mean, for like, what's this? I don't know what plastic this is. I assume it's not ABS. Doesn't smell like ABS. Oh, hello. Are you up to speed with what I'm doing? I'm making this exact mini disc. I have one. I have some calipers, and I'm laboriously doing the CAD thing. So I am weird, aren't I? I'm weird. I'm a weird guy. What do you think about it? Right. So what did you do on your weekend? Well, I did all these productive things. What did I do? I just measured a piece of plastic from the late 90s. Okay, so okay, where are we at? All right, yeah, we're doing this little nubbin. This little nubbin here. So he is. That's what he's doing. He is centered on the interior part. That's why I want to do that. He's 3 mil and he's centered on the interior part of the wall, which is why that's where he's cut off. There we go. And he's down here somewhere, and then we're going to do that. And he's 3 mil, and he is what's his interior diameter? His interior diameter is, let's call that 1. So we'll do, I think it's O, isn't it? And then we'll just do, I think it's 2.5, 2.6, 2.5, and that's minus 2. That's Windows minus 2. No, okay, minus. Hang on, hold up. Minus 1. No, 5. No. Okay, minus 0.5. That looks. No, 0.25. No, 0.75. Good enough. Calling that good. So, yeah, calling that good. And then what we're going to do, we'll just snip away these bits. Boop, 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 boop. There he is. Constraints all removed. Just got rid of the save. Okie dokie, use is saved. Nice. So, I'm going to do all of my little... So, like, there's all these little, these guys. I want to get these in. These, I could do... No, I'm going to do these in 3D. I'm going to be that guy and do these in 3D and make more geometry that I don't actually need because, again, I'm not going to be... I mean, I could just plane it. Yeah, I mean, I could plane and project this and paint them in. I could totally do that, actually. Should I leave them? If I'm gonna do it, I'll do it on a separate. If I'm gonna do it, I'll do it on a separate. If I'm gonna do it, I should do it on a separate sketch and do it after the fact because that's technically a huge waste of time. Because there's so many of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I can see 15. I think 16 of them, and there's a square. We'll do that after the fact, that's fine. We can maybe even paint those on, that'd be alright. That might be a step too far. So, but then, we're here now, right? So do you just stop fucking about and just do the thing? Let's do something cool. Let's do the middle guy, because he is, so what are you doing? You go all the way through, so there's a mate on there, so that's on both sides of the drawing. That's cool, so I have to copy that between this and the other one. So I'm going to do the main ring. So you go both sides, and presumably you look thinner than 0.8. So there's like the interior diameter of this, right? Oh no, it looks in the photo, in person, it looks like. Let's have a quick look. Eyeball it. No, it might be. It's kind of hard to see because, again, it's transparent. I've had a light box. But actually, I've got a phone. And the phone's basically a box that actually works really well. That is thinner. Or is it? It is. It is ever so slightly thinner than the outer diameter. Let's just try and measure that. So, we're measuring on a curve. So, I want my phone to stay on. I'm calling that 0.7. 0.7, right, excellent. So we know that's not the same thickness. Good, good, good. Glad I did that. So, what is the diameter of our actual circly boy? I'm glad you asked, because actually I don't know how the fuck I'm going to work this out. So, maths. Oh no, hang on, no, it is, so yeah, the diameter of this is contained. That's okay, oh, that's okay, that's good. Good, because like, if the circle goes beyond the bounds of the, if this went beyond the bounds of here, right, so if the diameter of this was larger, and it intersected with this outer thing, it'd be quite hard, well, if you're stupid. If you don't know anything about maths, it's quite hard to figure out the size of this based on its intersection, and I don't want to eyeball it. So to guess it and eyeball it is very easy, but to get it accurate is more difficult, right? Without, because this isn't perfectly flat and you haven't got a reference, and we're doing this pretty accurate, not like, you couldn't manufacture a mini disc from this, but you could, like, if you want to make a 3D printed mini disc sleeve or something, this should be good enough to do that, right? But you couldn't build a mini disc case. I mean, you could maybe build a semi-okay, but you probably need to tweak it level mini disc case out of this if you want to. But I don't know who would do that. Some maniac could probably do it on YouTube at some point. And maybe they'll use my model, who knows. But anyway, so, good news is, though, this diameter, actually you can see the edge of the circle, kind of touches the edge, right? So let's just take the imaginary thing, so it's pretty much like that, right? We just need to confirm it. And then, like, so yeah, basically, like, if you think about it in terms of, like, cookie cutter shapes, this circle pretty much touches the edges, and then someone's gone snip, snip, right, to cut out those parts on those edges. But so we do still need to measure it to get it pretty close, because that makes it difficult. What I can do, oh no, actually I can use. So I think I can use these tabs, right? I'm just going to rubber duck you for a second. I think I can use these tabs to work out that diameter, right? So if I know this distance from this edge and this distance down, right, I can create those first, and then if it, yeah, and then once the circle intersects with this corner, that's my, no, that's not true, because it goes past that corner. Oh, who can maths? If they want to, they can leave their friends behind, because your friends don't maths, and if they don't maths, they're no friends of mine. You can dance if you want to. So, how do I work this out? How? I can. Yeah, that's, we should do this now because it's hard, and then we have to worry. We can just make little circles later. Little circles are easy, right? So let's just do this, and then our maximum diameter. That's what is. Hold up, wait. That's not good. Hang on, wait. I thought 68.2. I made a center. Oh, that's really bad news if I've made that rookie mistake. 34. What's that? 34 point. What's the length of that? 34.6. Whatever. Okay, and then we've got another one. This is supposed to be center. If it isn't, I am so fucked. Oh my god! Hang on. Let's just do that. Create driven. 33 point. So is, oh, I'm not on Mac OS. I can't just do maths anywhere I want. Calculator, calc. Okay, right. So we do. So my outer thing is, so if we do. Hang on. Let's just do 30. So if these two numbers add up to this, then I'm good, because I'll be able to figure out the offset, right? So we do 34.627. Plus 33.573 equals 68.2. So I'm just off by. This is 1 millimeter off. 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter off in the. I think it's yeah. How I did that is a mystery. It's supposed to be a center constrained square when I made it. Wangers, that's very, very infuriating. Obviously the center point's be there, but I can figure out like how far off it is. So yeah, we know that's a millimeter too far this way. So I wonder if how I do maths makes sense to other people, because I can't really maths. Oh, you fuck! I can't really do maths, so constraints. Damn it! I don't want to pull off all the constraints. X, which way is X? X is that way, so let's do 1 millimeter that way. That's not going to work. Fuck. Jesus. Wait, that can't be right though, because I deleted my center constraint, didn't I, a while ago? So let's just do another horizontal, vertical. Let's do that. I think that's not going to work, is it? Because it's not parallel. I can't remember which constraint that. Let's find out. This is a. What are you? Oh, it's just construct. Oh yeah, of course, it's just construction line, isn't it? So what we'll do then, we'll do one of these, line to here, and then we'll just do. There we go. How did that happen? When did we fuck that up? Damn it. So let's just confirm this. That's a better way of doing it. See, because shut up. Because I'm not a maths man. I'm not a man of maths. That is, 1.53? What the fuck? Yeah, so fuck's sake. That's really bad. This might ruin the fun, but sure, there's a technical spec for this. There should be. Hang on, let's find out. Minidisc. It depends on, like, a lot of them are. I don't know actually, because I don't know the rules around it at the time. Because, like, a lot of the time they probably only give that spec out to people. Because if Sony were charging, but it's gone now, right? So if Sony were charging you some sort of like licensee fee, right, to manufacture mini discs, because they want their cut, surely, then maybe it's not in the public domain, those drawings. So we can have a look. Mini disc drawing. So we've got labels, minidisc. What's the right way? Minidisc? Technical drawing. Notice. No, it doesn't seem to be. Hang on, Lumico, minidisc, technical drawing. No, I can see ones for parts. I can't see ones for the disc itself. So, because yeah, there is no. I didn't want to model this originally, but there are no CAD drawings of a mini disc on Tinternet. Okay, so we've got the A track. We've got we've got machine data. So we've got drawings for the. Yeah, I can see drawings for some of the technical parts inside, so like the magneto optical thing, the laser, that kind of crap. But there's no drawing of the actual disc itself. Which is rubbish. So it's a good point, but I'm trying to figure out the point at which I had accidentally, while I was blabbing, moved this all over by a millimeter, because that's actually a big fucking pain in the ass. So the way around this is I can delete all of these constraints and then just move it, right? That's not great. But if I move this, they're gonna move. You're gonna move. I won't be able to move this. Or I shouldn't be able to move this. Where's my handle? There it is. Yeah, so it's constrained. So let's just okay. Oh, what do we do here? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? This is where constraints start to bite in the ass. So you have to manually all these constraints, and then if I just do those, that's parallel. That's that one. That's what's that one? That's another. Maybe the outer constraints can go, and then it will move just fine. That's a parallel constraint. So then, can I move it? No. Oh, what a fool. I really want to know when I moved this. Okay, it's not actually the end of the world. So what I can actually do is, because I know what this measurement is, this is 68.2. Oh no, but then these are all off. You fuck. I can move all these manually by a millimetre. Would that work? Would that be infuriating for everyone? I mean, so what's this? 71. So let's just write this down actually, because you know, the thing is, clearly, I'm an idiot. 71.5 by 68.2. 68.2. Okay. And then I can move all of this over by a millimetre, and I've just got to double check all of my measurements, which is going to be so tedious. Okay, let's go with that. Let's get rid of both of these construction lines. Get rid of that. There we go. Wow, excellent. Right, so create rectangle, center rectangle from the center. There we go. Right, boom, and then it is. What? Hang on. It's wider than it's tall, isn't it? So the 71 is in this dimension. Yeah, 71, so that's width. So height is 68.2 by... Oh, wow, that's close. Look, 71.5. Back in the centre. Whee! And then we're going to offset this with a 0.9, wasn't it? So that was offset of... 0.9. There we go. And we can see this will have to get redone because it won't match up anymore, but we can see that is my washing machine tune. I have a Samsung washing machine, and no, you can't turn that noise off or change it to anything else. That's just the noise it has to make. And I'm like in a room that's not in my main house, like a separate little miniature building, I guess. This makes it sound more lavish than it is. In England we call it a granny annex, and it's got our washing machine lives in here, so my office contains a washing machine. So this little bastard needs to, if I move this by 1, there we go, yeah, move by a millimetre, and there you go. It's where it's supposed to be. So yeah, what I didn't, did I write down? Wait, hang on. Let's let's do that again. But first thing I'm going to do, right? Because this is what non-stupid people do. I am going to take a screenshot. Which I do this way on Windows. Is that right? No, that way. S. No. Is that it? That. Oh, snip. There we go. Windows key, Shift and S. Alright. Oh, hang on. Let's just get all of these, actually. That'd be useful. Right. Let's try that again. Where's that? Where's that gone? Is this a snipping tool? Is this a snipping tool? I apologise for that guy. That guy's clearly an idiot. So... okay. Let's go. No! No! Oh, God. Why are people watching this? Okay, let's try that again. Alright, let's do that. There we go. Instead of just guessing it and writing it into a browser, I could have just like... how do I do that? Copy. I could have just like... just put this into this big, obvious fucking thing full of images I've got right here. for that purpose to reference. Almost as if I need to reference this image in an application I've already got open, which is designed for referencing images. Don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school. Honestly. So, right. What are we doing? Get rid of that constraint. Get rid of that constraint. There we go. Go away. Get rid of those construction lines. Don't want those anymore. There we go. Right. So, create rectangle. Center rectangle. We're going to create this from the center. There we go. And we're going to do. Let's just make sure this is from the center. Let's just do. It should be from the center. It should snap. But let's just make quadruple sure. Because there we go. That's definitely center now. So it is 71.5 by 68.2. Hold up. That's the wrong way round. Oh my god, all my measurements are wrong. Right. 68.2. Oh god. Oh god. 71.5. Well, all of this is wrong. But the relative distances from where they are still correct, right? Because I'm going from the edge. But that's why all of these, they're all wrong. The numbers are correct, right? So basically what I've done is I was like, I thought this before, it's like it's slightly wider than it is tall, and I've made mine slightly taller than it is wide. So I'd flipped these. That's that one and that's that one. So there's several mistakes made here. I think that's probably why people who do this don't stream it. I try to make it. I am making excuses. I should know better than this, but yeah. That being said, I've never tried to earn money from CAD stuff. I try to be. If I'm going to do something and get paid for it, I want to be competent enough to say yes. I can feel confident charging you in person money for doing this. I wouldn't do that with CAD. It's actually a pretty big topic, I guess. Right. So. Luckily, my relative measurements are all correct, so let's just go one by one and just correct them all. Right, so this guy needs rebuilding, and he lived on the. He was from the. Was he from the edge, or was he from the inner edge? He was from the outer edge, 3 mil. So, what was his constraint? So he was 7.5 from the top. So we're going to create a new this one. There we go. He's 3 mil, and he is 7.5 millimeters from the top. There we go. That don't look right. Oh no, because he goes all the way through, doesn't he? Yeah, he's cold. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. That's okay. Cool. So there's one down. This was 4 in, 3.5 down. So, okay. And then we go 4. Uh, 4 and 3.5. Boom. Yep. And then this one is 2.6 by 17.8. So that. And then 2.6. It's in the outer, isn't it? 2.6. And then it's 17.8. Let's just put that inside there. That's better. That's a better place for it. That's a better place for that. So we're getting serious now. Alright, and then next one across was, this one was 21.4 by, I can't see. Oh no. That's also 2.6. Okay, cool. So this one is the same. So let's grab that. D from the top is 2.66. There we go. And then from the, that's 21.4 from the side. Let's grab that, The outer edge, yeah, 21.4. Cool. And that this is obviously wrong as well now, which is good. So this here is from no. Thank you. 4, and then from the top, that's basically. Hold up. Whatever. What's this one? Let's have a look. That is closer, isn't it? I can't read that though. But they're not equidistant. That was. Let's just measure that one again. So from the outer edge to the center is 3.5. That's 3.5. 3 point is the same. It is the same. Okay. And that's 3.5. There we go. Okay, and then this one here, this notch on the other side is the same distance as the one on this side, right? So that one is just needs recreating, I guess. Same again. So this one, it goes on the outer edge and it's 3 mil, and then from the top is 7.5. Perfect. I might have to replace those. I'm not sure that's correct, but anyway, I'm not sure these two are right. It doesn't look right, although the measurement's correct. So I think actually they are very slightly elongated or something like that. But we'll address that later. They don't come far enough in. Yeah. What do we do? Hang on. Get rid of that. We'll do it from. I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's do 3 mil from the interior, and then we'll just do that as D. That looks more correct to the eye. 7.5. That looks more as you'd expect, but that doesn't carry on. So those are straight. So what we would do is we would. Can't remember if this is the right way. Sometimes this gets messed up when you come to like when you come to actually cutting the shapes up. Let's just do this. Hang on. When you come to actually extruding this, sometimes this, what I'm about to do, is problematic. But we'll give it a go, and we'll cross that line when we come to it. What the fuck is going on there? Can you see that? What is that? Can you see that? Look. As I move, this drifts around. That's not supposed to be happening, is it? Is that just me? Is that imagination? Look. See, look at that motherfucker. He's running away from me. What? Yeah, what is that? I don't know. Let's not concern ourselves with such things right now. Okay. We're going to say it's that. I think that's more. That look to the eye. Let's just get this up. So, what? Where are we? Right there. So that's these guys. That guy there. See? I think it looks. I think it's that. I think it's that. I could do this with a rectangle. I think it's fuck it. Let's just leave it like that for now. And when it comes to extruding these things later, we'll figure out if that's a problem. But I imagine it probably will be. 3 mil, and then this is 7.5. Getting CAD drawings really accurate is strangely satisfying as well, because it's like a little puzzle. Sometimes it's very difficult, occasionally, but normally that's like the software. And again, you're doing some quite this isn't complex. Oh shit, that's not right. This isn't like that complicated, right? As it goes, this is actually pretty basic, and I've done harder stuff in this. This isn't rocket science what I'm doing right now, at all. But I designed like the most complicated thing I designed is a 3D printer, which sounds really complicated to say, but it's not. There's lots of precedent to kind of like lean on, right, with 3D printers. So it's not like, do you know what I mean? There's like a lot of work has been done for you, I guess. So you're like standing on the shoulders of giants, right? If you're familiar with that phrase. So this guy, so yeah, but yeah, it's obviously significantly much more difficult than this. And there's times where you have like this little balancing act of like different constraints, and you know you have like parts that go on it that you aren't manufacturing, right? So you have like extrusions and stuff. You have like constraints around where the slots go and how things can fit together and where the screws can go, and then things have to move, and it's this big cascading puzzle box, and it's actually super satisfying. Very, very satisfying to do. It is time consuming, but it is also really, really fun. And I do enjoy it. In fact, at one point, I was like, could I have a career as a CAD man? But no, actually, really, I probably couldn't, because I mean, fucking look at me. It's I'm not methodical. I don't think I'm methodical enough for it. I'm not unmethodical, but I'm not methodical enough. I think it takes a very specific. It's again why I'm not a software engineer, right? I don't have that degree of fastidiousness. So this one is. So look at this guy here. From the edge, he is 12. You doing it? You doing the thing? But no. Why? What? It's because. Is this because of my fillets? It's because of my fillets, you fuck. Okay. Will this move? It will move. Okay. But you won't let me constrain you because you're weird. Yeah, we're in weird Quirksville. The best thing to do here is just to kind of 5.5 by 3.5. Just kind of rebuild it, I guess. So let's do. Let's do 3.5 by 5.5, and then we'll just reconstrain this. There's little weird like inconsistencies, I guess, in Fusion, and like the thing is fundamentally kind of what you're doing. What the fudge, D? What? Why? Hang on. Get rid of those. Get rid of that point. And that point. This one is attached to the new guy. Yeah, see, why is that happening? Okay. Can I do a single edge? Weird. Sometimes you can select the entire shape and sometimes you can't, but whatever. So that's 2.5. And that will push it, because that. So this is like, I think, what's the name of the constraint? I think it's a. Which constraint is this? It's called a vertical constraint. So this basically says this has to be a rectangle, and then you've got like these slashy ones saying this has to be parallel to the thing, so you can't turn it into a slidey shape. But yeah, there are inconsistencies, and it's not so much that like Fusion's bad. Fusion's actually really good. It's not perfect, and you're not supposed to say nice things about Autodesk Guide, but still, it's a good piece of software. But the thing with it is, CAD's complicated, right? It's just nature of the beast complicated, and you can't like have a visual application be perfect with those constraints, right? It's just not really a thing. So given the circumstances, it's pretty good. So this one 16.10, so we'll go with the outer edge, and that is 16.1. Okay, I think, how far in does that come? That comes further in than that. So, in fact, actually, this was. So it's 3 by. What are you? 3 by. No, that's not it. What's that? Where's that constraint attached to? That's not attached to anything. Okay, we've just got to remake this. That's 1.5 radius. Fine. That's 3 mil by. So the size of that is That's 3.5 by 3. 3.5 by 3. And it is 16. No, that's 12. Actually, that's not 16 by 10. That's 12. That's 12. Okay, yeah. So that is on the edge 3.5 by 3. Okay, and then from this edge it is 16.1. There you go. And then no. Thank you. Good God. And then this is on this corner. These are both 1.5. Thank you. And then this, I think, is this a full pill shape? It is. So these are, let's just go back into my radius, my fillets. No. Oh, although, I didn't realise that was a thing. That's kind of cool. So I grab that edge and grab that. No, I didn't do it that time. Oh, lame. Okay. And then that's going to be 1.5. No, 1.6. 1.7. Good enough. Good enough. Okay. Okay. I think we're nearly done, actually. Oh, no, the bottom. The bottom. Every time. It's always the bottom. Okay, right. So the top is done. And I think I have to kind of stop after that, unfortunately. It's very unsatisfying. Well, yeah, the thing I just discovered, though, was quite fun, which I didn't know was a thing before, is what I can do. I can do a box. Try that out. So if I do a new rectangle that goes, what's my distance in there? What was that? From here to where they intersect at is 2.4 millimeters. So if I do this, get rid of that, do a new box here, right? Make that 2.4. No, 2.4. No, 2.4. You're embarrassing me in front of the people. 2.4. Thank you. By whatever that is. Let's say that's 3. By 3. Beautiful. So I think on here, if I did that and then no. If I did that, what was I doing before? I was doing a thing before and it was really good. Anyway, but then if I do 1.5. No, radius 1.5. No, what? Why are you moving upwards? Okay, you know what? We'll fix that later. See, we're getting to the frustrating bits now where things don't do quite what you expect them to. It is what it is. Right, so let's do the bottom. And then, yeah, we'll just... Actually, no, what we will do, we'll put that circle in. We're back to the thing we're trying to do. We'll put that circle in. Because, right? 2.5. 2.5. There we go. And then this guy, so we've got another half thing here, and he was centered on the interior guy. His outer dimension was 3, and his inner diameter, let's just say that was 1. Offset -1, 0.75, 0.7. Okay. And then his distance from... I can't really see. Did I measure that? Let's just have a quick look. What's the centre of this? This is on the left-hand side. Our little halfy guy is... about 12.5. Okay. No. Sorry the topic, but still waiting for more Ember.js videos. Did you comment the other day on Ember? I've been wanting to do more, but my problem is, Jesus, that's not right. My problem is with the 17 up. My problem with the Ember stuff is I don't know it well enough to talk about it authoritatively. I mean, I don't know much about enough to really talk about anything with authority, but so I think about like the right topic to cover. I want to do a video that's basically like Ember.js is good actually, because I think if you've watched those streams, then you'll see that yeah, basically I was like started being like, what is this? I've heard of this. This might suck, and because basically I was working on my other thing, working on like a Rails project, and Rails front end is awful, right? It's like from 2000, pick a year, right? It's old school. It's really old school in a way that's not like like the parts of Rails as a framework that's refreshingly old school, and there's parts of it that are just dated. And the front end of Rails is the weakest part. The rest of the framework's actually fantastic. And I was struggling through their default stack. I was like, well, I've heard of Ember. I've run out of ideas to make this workable, and I was like, well, let's give it a go, because I was trying to use Hotwire and Hotwire wasn't working, and I went with a huge amount of skepticism, and over the course of a few evenings that skepticism turned to sort of mild niceness, and then I got chatting to the community and learned more about where it's going, its history, and hung out with some of the people in the community, and now I've got an awful lot of fondness for Ember, and in part, I've got to be honest, for the fact the Ember community is some of the nicest, most dedicated developers in the world, and they are the objectives of the framework are fantastic, and we need more of what they're trying to do in a world where JavaScript is all about churn and silliness and flavor of the month and not being very, and construct your own solution from 10 different libraries, 3 of which won't exist in 2 months type world. Ember's main thing is about being really consistent and being really stable, and they have done it for years, like over a decade, and it's very, very nice to see, and it's actually fundamentally really nice. It's actually really lovely to work in as well. It's a really nice framework to actually work in. It's great. But yeah, I'd like to do, basically that would be the topic of the video. It is good, but I don't know what depth I go into because I don't have that fluency in it. I've sort of tinkered with it a bit, but I can't sit there and confidently go blah, 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 and just tap out a bunch of shit in Ember because I don't know well enough. And again, like with this, I put things down for a little while, and then those sort of muscles, not atrophy, but they just sort of get a little bit creaky. You have to exercise them a little bit, and you can't always do it. So we're watching me do this with CAD. I was actually doing some Ember earlier on today and last night. So long story short, yes, I probably will do an Ember is good actually video, but probably in a couple of months when I've got enough to say and enough to sort of show people and make a good argument for it. If you're still watching, that's the answer to that question. But I am thinking about it a lot. I am very much rooting for them as well. They are a wonderful, wonderful bunch of people. So I don't have a measurement for this. 2.6. Okay, that's equidistant, so that's fine. So that's 2. So this guy here is 2.6 on the bottom. Boop. I suppose I'm supposed to tell you to subscribe, subscribe or whatever to watch it. Do that if you want. I do whatever I want here. I'm not. You do you. I'm very much team. I just make videos about whatever interests me for fun. I'm not here to be a career boy. But yeah, if you feel like you want to subscribe, go for it. If you don't, that's also cool. I ain't gonna lose sleep either way. Oh, you douche. Okay, is that going to work? It's not going to work. Get rid of that. Okay, you and you, listen, yeah? Are we doing this today? Are we in front of the children? Do we have to do this? Come on. So, there, right. Yeah, okay. So you can move. You just don't want to. Duh. And that's 2.6. See, that wasn't difficult, was it? We got there in the end. Okay, so same again, right? Come on, 2.6. There we go. Sometimes these circles will move independently of each other, and sometimes they won't, or because this is an offset. But sometimes, even when it is an offset, it decides that it won't move with its parent. So you have to select both, otherwise this moves independently of this. But sometimes it doesn't. So fusion! Anyway, so that's also 2.6. This one is... Oh, you fudge stick. I don't know why I decided not to swear then. I'll swear the rest of the time. Right. Dude, does that actually intersect? I guess it does. Not really. IRL, but... yeah. Oh, no, actually, you know what? No, because that's... No, that definitely doesn't. Let's just do that. No, because it can't do, because that this one here goes all the way through the plastic. This is straight up a hole, punched through. So that's got to come up. And I don't think that matters that much. We're just going to get sloppy here. 2.7, there we go. Is that, how close is that to the edge IRL? Oh, it's a ways off, actually. Let's do 2.8. 2.8. That looks about right to me. So, and then this one is 2. That's just 2.6. That's not true. That's 2.6. And this is 3.5. So these guys, I'm blatantly going to have to do this. And you're not going to work because you're an obstinate prick. There we go. Uh, 3.5. There we go. And then that was... So this one's 11.5 from the edge. And this one was... Okay, and this one was 5.8. Okay. And I think we're there. I'm going to have to double check all of this at some point, but I'm not going to do that today. So, cool. So we're going to put in our center circle. So we're back to where we started before I noticed that I had accidentally offset this entire thing by a millimeter in the wrong direction, which sounds like it's not a problem, but you've not done CAD before if you think that's not a problem. So we're doing this circle. And again, this is like a mathsy thing. We've got to figure out how to get the accurate diameter for this, right? So I was saying before, because you can't really eyeball it. So this one's kind of important to get kind of right. Again, the objective here is not to make this perfect, but good enough that in like a 3D printing project, you'd be able to make something cute that you could probably, like, say if you want to make a cover to, or like let's say an objective would be if you made a mini disc holder, right, or a thing you could slot them into, this would be accurate enough to be able to be a cutter to make a shape like that. That's our target. So it's not like 100% accurate, but like pretty accurate, because these don't exist on the internet. I've not found an accurate CAD drawing, or at least remotely accurate CAD drawing, or any CAD drawings actually, of a mini disc. And the guy who inspired this entire thing modelled it off image reference, which is absolutely valid. I'm just going to calipers because you can go a little bit closer to the metal with calipers because you have the object within your hand. So yeah, what we're going to do is get this. So we need to figure out the diameter of this. I'm sure someone who knows anything about maths, I can kind of eyeball it. I think it almost touches here, but it's hard to really say. But yeah, I guess so yeah, this is my thinking, because again I'm bad at maths, right? So if I know this distance here, right, if at this distance this circle intersects to create this, I think that will be my diameter. I think, right? Is that right? I don't know if that's right. This falls squarely into the kind of thinking I'm specifically really bad at. I don't know what type of thinking that is, but I'm bad at it. That one. So yeah, because yeah, all right. So if right, so let's just, first things first, just for reference, I'll put some construction lines in at those distances, right? So I've got 3 to go off, and the one on the right hand side behind the, how do I get that open without breaking it? Whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to create some construction lines where those rectangles are, those little cutouts exist. So we're going to get those moderately accurate. So we go to the edge, and that one from the top is, and this should be equidistant, right? The outer edge is 25 point, let's say 25.2. So what we're going to do is we'll just do a construction line here, and that is 25.2, right? And we change the line type to a construction line, and then we do another construction line from here, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, whatever, to the edge, right? Make that so reselect construction line, right? So there's one. So yeah, so and then how far in is that from the edge? We'll do, that goes in to the outer edge, let's call it 4.2. So, then we're going to use again. There we go, 4.2. Cool. And then another one down to here, 90 degrees. There we go. Okay, we can delete this one, and we can delete that one, and actually just drawing all those here. There we go. Right, so this should be equidistant, right? We'll find out. It will be. I will double check this, don't worry. So when these intersect, this should really give me my. That's not correct. That's not correct. Is that correct? No, it can't be. So the edge of the. Oh, God, maths. Anyone who knows anything about maths, please let me know. Because your boy's an idiot. That's not... Or is it? No, because... That's definitely at the top. 66 point... No, because I can't actually measure the distance. How do I do this? I think you need to know something about what is the maths I need to unlock how to do this. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to ask someone who can maths. Who do I know who can maths well? Or to my mathematics education stopped at around age 12. I have the mathematical abilities of a pre-teenager, I would say. So, which is bad for someone who does this sort of thing. There's various things that technically intersect with the use of numbers. It's a lifelong struggle. But anyway, yeah, I need to speak to someone to work out how to figure this one out. Yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream here. Or I could do a couple more details. Let's do 15 more minutes. I'm going to come back to this. This whole circle quandary, right? What I can do is the center circle. I can do that because that's pretty easy. That's just measuring a thing and putting a number in. That doesn't require thought, so that's good. And then we'll do, so inner diameter of this is 18 point, was that really 18 point something? 18.4. 18.4. Strange. That's a strange 18.4. There we go. Okay. Oh, you can kind of see what it is. Sort of ish. Kind of. So. So this guy. So we've got our cut out there. We've got another one. We've got another guy here. which is not... What are you? I don't know what you are. You're kind of like this guy, but you're kind of not. And then there's... If you get a phone... can you maths? I was going to ask my brother-in-law, because he's like a physicist. So I'm like, physicists, there's lots of maths and physics, right? So he must be able to maths. I can't. I can't maths. Do you have any steer on how you'd work that out? Because you see what my issue is here, right? Like, I need to understand what this is, but I can't because I'm missing this information. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, number minus number, and there's a method. Exactly, there's a method sum that does the other things. Wait, you've got no. Hang on, no, you're talking shit because you've got a game engineering degree, right? So that's game shit is actual maths. You have to do like tangents and other maths. Sine, cosine, they're maths words. You do those. That might be one of these. I don't know which one of the maths words this is. Circle, it's circle. I can add numbers together, I can times numbers, and sometimes I can divide numbers, and that's the extent of my mathematics. If you can do it on a calculator. Yeah, that's true, that's 20 years ago. Oh god, when did we get old? I hate the fact that I'm like, oh, that was 20 years ago. And not be like, I was a child. No, I was an adult 20 years ago. Oh, Christ. I was a teenager 20 years ago. Oh, Christ. Basically built some... Yeah. We just carved ones and zeros into wax cylinders. Back when consoles were powered by steam. Not that steam. The phase of matter. Not the storefront. Just have to clarify that there for anyone confused. Fucking hell. So right, what are we doing? Let's pick a thing to work on. Right, so let's do some of these guys. These guys are meaty. Let's do this little cow here. So what are you? See this little thing here? This is a thing. So false exactly. What is this? This is just a little... Oh, Christ. This is a little cutout in the... But only that top corner is cut out. So this bit is still here in the plastic, but only this bit is a notch, right? A little notch out the corner. It's for some registration thing to go in. And then this is... What is this? Wait, I'm looking at the wrong side. No, that's true. Okay, it's got one of these on each side. That notch is the same on both sides, right? And then this bit is just a bit of plastic. Or is it? No. What are you? You are just a rectangle that exists in front of it. All right, and then this bit of okay. So I need to put this guy in. So this bit of plastic goes like round this, and then here, right? And then that is actually a little physical notchy boy. And that is a little indent as well. Little diagonal indent. Does that go the way in? No, it doesn't. That's weird. Huh. Okay, right, so how do I work out... So again, this is one of those things where it's like, how do you work out the... It's another maths. So again, a lot of the time I will eyeball this. So this break angle here, right? If this is a rectangle, like that, I can just measure the distance between here, and that gives me my and I put a construction line in, and I just match it up. I can still... No, I mean, I can figure that out. No, I can't. Can I? Because I need to know... How do I work... Yeah, how do I... How do you work out this. I did know this one. I need to do this now. I thought I didn't have to do this radius now, but I do have to do this radius now. I do know what this is. They're different. So this side's different to this side. This one's not as important, but this is like the meat and potatoes side. This is the business end of the mini disc. This is the bit you go whoop. That's the sound they make when they go whoop. Yeah. So. I need to figure out. Do I need to Google this? How to figure out a fillet angle, fillet size CAD. You can use radius gauges. I don't have any radius gauges. There must be like a maths. I can just figure out like the distance. No, I can't figure out where that's. Oh, I can actually. Hang on. If I know the distance between the bits that aren't round, right? So from here to here, right? And subtract that from. Wait, no, I'm getting confused. You like getting a headache in real time. Then they'll take that away. Will I subtract that? Hang on. How do you do that? Oh, you can 3D print a set of 3D print a set of radius gauges. I am just going to do that. Okay, we'll come back to that. So. Alright, so I need to 3D print a radius gauge to get this radius. Wait, does that work little teeny tiny radiuses? Okay. I'm certain I used to know what this was. This, because I want to eyeball this. I want to get this one right. Yeah, because I need to get that down first, because then I understand what this break angle is going to be, right? So I can figure out where this rectangle is, and then I need to get to here. It's a straight line that breaks off at an angle and does the same thing here. But to get that angle correct, I need to know this radius, because it intersects with the radius there. Or, yeah, but I need to know the distance from the edge, but I don't quite know where the corner is, because... Or do I know where the corner is? Am I just being... No. Am I being stupid? I might be being stupid. Hang on. Maybe I don't need to do that. See, this is why you're here, because it's not safe when you're not here. Stupid things happen when you're not here. Mysterious viewers, all two of you. So that's 4.77. So let's call it 4.8. So if we just do another construction here, so we do. From this on the left, isn't it? So we do 4.8. No, 4.8. Thank you. Construction line. No, come on. Construction line. Thank you. It's 4.8. Hang on. So yeah, so I've got this one. So I'll do that part. So that one's 3.8. Aha. Okay. So this one is. Wait. Oh, I'm so confused. Right. So wait. I'm too dumb for this. I'm too dumb for this measuring things lark. Okay, I'm actually going to call it there, I think, because I need to go speak to a maths person, because that'll be a lot easier with the maths human. And I think I've broken my brain trying to work out numbers. So I'm going to call it there. I'm going to save this actually. Call it there. And yeah. Well, I had fun. I hope you had fun. If you didn't, then sounds like a you problem, buddy. And I'll do another one of these at some point, probably. I don't know. we'll find out. If you aren't subscribed, then do or don't, or do. Either way, I kind of don't care, to be honest. And have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, or whatever it is. And yeah, I'll be back and I'll finish this at some point, and then I'll either do it in a video, or you'll have to just find it, or you will never know. One of those.